false, and why of the NFL. We've got 3 more questions today. I was going to give us 4, but we had our top 5. And then, of course, we also have some pretty controversial stuff here. So, first one, big talking point. His mom's his agent, so that's already an obstacle in itself. No offense to his mom, I'm just saying. Also, Patrick Mahomes got a historic contract. It was team-friendly on the back end, but you get it. So, based on his on-field play, does Lamar Jackson, let's say true or false, Lamar Jackson, if I would tell you right now, he deserves, based on his on-field play, Mahomes-type money, you would tell me that is...
False.
Okay, and why?
Pretty easily false, actually. I don't think
Oh.
Patrick Mahomes deserves Patrick Mahomes money, and he's the best player in the league. In general, I think that Lamar Jackson, while he has been very good, you still worry about the longevity. Here's a guy who's been banged up, and his play style leads him to get banged up even more. He hasn't appeared in a Super Bowl, not won one. And Mahomes has been there a couple times already. And their offense, while built around his run game, and we've seen this in the past with other running quarterbacks, it's not sustainable for the long future. I think he's a great player. I love watching him. I'm certainly a fan of his. I love his story. I think he's a humble guy. And, I think he's the type of guy who will give a hometown discount anyway. But even if he didn't, I don't think he deserves that kind of money. He's just not a type of franchise player who I think you can make a cornerstone like you did Mahomes and expect him to get you 10 wins by himself. Great player, definitely deserves a raise. Shouldn't be on the rookie contract, but no, I don't think he deserves Mahomes type money.
I'm going to say false as well, and the reason I say that, because Lamar Jackson, as much as he's improved throwing the football, is still nowhere near the leap that other guys like Josh Allen have taken. When we saw Josh Allen come into the league, he struggled with accuracy. He is now one of the best passers in football. Lamar Jackson is still an electric runner. He's still a good passer, but he's not the pass. If you're a quarterback in this league, I don't care. Your legs are a part of the equation. I understand that is a very big part of this game. But in the end, when it's third down in 12 or third down in 8, when we know Lamar Jackson's going to have to pass and they double up Mark Andrews, can you make the throw? And I still question that, even though I love Lamar Jackson. I thought he could have won 2 Heismans if his teams played better the second season. Well, I completely agree it's false. However, he deserves to be top 5, but anybody who's demanding Mahomes money just because it's the market that's at needs to realize who Patrick Mahomes is and how great he's made that offense. I made the argument last season kind of jokingly, but kind of true at the same time. Tyler Huntley looked pretty good in the same offense. I know the Ravens were banged up last year, but Tyler Huntley was not terrible. And if this guy's going to demand Mahomes money and I want to give it to him, I'll give Tyler Huntley the reins for a couple of weeks to see if Lamar Jackson likes him.
And it's a good point about Huntley. They definitely played well with him. He's a little bit better of a passer, I think, than Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, I think he puts in more work than anybody in the league. I don't know that he's not trying to be a better passer. And they aren't littered with a ton of receiving talent on that team. And now they've lost one of their better receivers as well.
Yeah.
And so I just don't know that he puts up the numbers to be an MVP caliber this year. I don't know that they have a team that gets them to a Super Bowl this year. And I think without those two things, it's really hard to ask for that kind of huge raise. Mahomes is MVP every year, even if he doesn't win it. And his team is always a threat to make the Super Bowl every year. So, he's just a very, very special case and well-deserving of the big money, not necessarily as big of money as he got, but, it's the NFL and that's the market we're in.
Amen. True or false, if you were to tell me that Josh Allen was the best non-Madden option for the cover athlete? This question comes from the fact that on AM Drive TV, I did a poll that gave the options of Matt Stafford, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Aaron Donald. Which of those athletes would have been the better 23 cover athletes if it was not John Madden himself? The winners were Joe Burrow and Josh Allen, so I did another one, and Josh Allen currently leads that with a day left. So do I believe he's the best non-Madden option? No, that is false. I believe it would be Joe Burrow. I believe the story of Joe Burrow kind of being the next Tom Brady, I'm not going to go that route. I'm just saying it's, he's got the swagger. He took the league by storm. He played for Cincinnati, who was not good until he got there. So I get it, but I would go Joe Burrow in my opinion. I can see Josh Allen selling more tickets, but Sammy, from what I can tell, you have a different guy who's from a different marketability place.
So I also say false, and this is not taking anything away from Josh Allen. Uh, the Madden cover is not necessarily the end all be all of who's a great player in the league, but for
Right.
my taste, I feel like it should be a player who either won the MVP or was in the Super Bowl. And so of those two, I think Joe Burrow is the better choice, but I would pick Aaron Donald. I mean, here's a guy who I don't know that he's ever appeared on the cover, and here's an all-time great player, always up for Defensive Player of the Year, was clearly the rock of a team that won the Super Bowl. To me, I think he deserves some credit. The Josh Allen, the year he makes Super Bowl, I have no problem with him being up there, or if he wins an MVP. Same thing with Joe Burrow. He made it to Super Bowl, so I would pick him over Josh Allen. But for me, yeah, Josh Allen would fall probably third or fourth on that list, personally, for my tastes. But I'm happy it's John Madden anyway.
He falls fourth to me, and I agree with you the last point as well. He falls fourth to me because my list goes Joe Burrow. Well, actually, of that list, it goes Matt Stafford, Joe Burrow, Aaron Donald, and the first three, I don't care who you put on there, and the fourth one will be Josh Allen. I'm surprised we had a lot of Bills fans on AM Drive TV, so thank you for that. How about that?
We do all love the Bills Mafia. They are a fantastic fan base.
And if you saw Stephon Diggs' best catch when he falls into the table, the Bills Mafia table, that was pretty clever. I don't know if you saw that in the skill shot. That was pretty funny. Okay, Sammy, true or false? The Browns are keeping Baker Mayfield because of the Sean Watson allegations, which include a 24th woman joining the civil lawsuit. Do you believe the Browns are holding on to Baker because of this, or do you think it's stupid that they are? Just tell me what your thoughts on this is.
I think that's also false. So I'm 3 for 3 on false today. I think the Browns are holding on to Baker Mayfield because no one wants Baker Mayfield. Wow. And not that no one wants him ever. No one wants him for the price that he gets paid, and they have to give up some draft capital or some player to get him. Right. He's not an upgrade over anybody big enough to want to take on that salary and have to give up somebody to get. If he was a free agent, if they just cut him, I'm sure somebody would sign him, but no one wants to trade for this guy. Same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo, and we talked about him yesterday. I love Jimmy G, and Jimmy G's been nothing but a great consummate pro, and no one's trading for his salary or his upgrade either. And so it's just the market that we're in. I think some teams are also kind of mad at the Browns for resetting the market for quarterback, but
guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah, I do not think Baker Mayfield will take a snap for the Browns this year, whether he's on the roster or not. He's kind of a bit of a baby, and I think he's still mad at the Browns. Also, I think they signed another backup quarterback to take the spot of Deshaun Watson once he gets suspended. So this is a bad situation for the Browns, but it's only 1 year. After that, they just outright release him, and he can go sign with Pittsburgh or Carolina or whoever, saying they don't want to trade for him but would take him anyway.
Great points from Sammy today. And this edition of Bye, Sammy. We don't have much time, so I'm going to say adios, Sammy. 2 fingers. We'll see you tomorrow on Hump Day. Thanks so much. We'll probably have some more NFL True False. That stuff is so fun. Thanks again, Sammy.
I enjoy that segment. I appreciate you, Mike. Have a great rest of your day.
I'll go with false as well, by the way. I just realized that. Go ahead. Bye, Sammy.